Welcome to American BBQ'ers. Today, we're going to talk pork belly burnt ends. Right here, got a pork belly. I have cut it already into about 1.5 inch cubes. Got about 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds worth of pork belly here. Any butcher, if they don't carry it, they should be able to order it and bring it in for you. So it should be relatively easy to get. So I've got it all chunked up and cubed. I'm going to use Yardbird on our burnt ends today. You're going to want to give it a good liberal seasoning. We're going to get them all nice and coated. Give them a toss here in the bowl. I'm going to make sure you get all sides as even as possible with the seasoning. More there. Continue giving it a toss. That one hopped out on me. Let's get them all nice and coated. As you can see here, pretty good all around. It's best to use a wire rack. It's going to be a lot easier. That way you can move a lot quicker when you're putting the pork belly on and taking it off. I've got a clean wire rack here, and I went ahead and I sprayed it with some food release spray. You said this bunch of fat, it shouldn't stick. They will still stick if you're not careful, so that's why I sprayed it. When you set them on the rack, try to put your fat cap up, and you want them spaced out on the rack. You're going to let that nice warm air on your grill get around on all sides of the pork belly. You don't want anything touching. It won't cook evenly. You'll end up with a pretty chewy burnt end. Okay, just about all of them here. I've got about 20 pieces here. I've got my pellet smoker is preheating to 225. These pork belly are going to go on. They're going to cook for about 3 hours. When we come back, we're going to make a braising liquid for them to set them back in it and put them back on the smoker. Okay, it's been about 3 hours. Right here's our pork belly. We've got our nice coating still going. They're starting to render down. What we're going to do, we've got a pan, and that's about a stick of butter. I'm just going to slide these right off. Okay. I'm going to add a little more of our Yardbird rub. I'm going to take some brown sugar and sprinkle all over. And what we're doing here is getting a nice little base set up to do a little bit of braising on these pork bellies. Okay, this isn't our sticky stage yet. I'm going to use some honey. In braising these pork bellies, so it's going to help get them nice and tender. Okay, braising basically means we're going to cook almost submerged in liquid. We're going to be about halfway. Full-on stewing would be completely submerged. So we got a nice bit of honey. The butter's going to melt. More of the fat's going to render out, which is going to bring up the braising liquid. We're going to wrap it now. You want to wrap it tight. We're going to get a little steam action going. Again, that steam's going to help make your pork belly nice and tender. Nice and tight. This is going to go back on the smoker for 2 more hours. So when we come back, we're going to add our sticky that gives your burnt ends your typical texture and flavor. Okay, it's been 2 hours. Right here's our pork belly. I drained the juice off. Now we're going to get to the sticky part. I'm going to take some of my barbecue sauce that I doctor up. Just going to pour some all over it. Like that. Then I'm going to take some orange blossom honey. Give it a good drizzle here. Now I'm going to take and just give them a nice little toss. Then from here, we're going to go back on the grill for 15 minutes. That's going to get this nice little glaze to thicken up. Get that little stickiness to it that you classically have with a burnt end. When we come back, we'll have our finished product. Okay, our pork belly burnt ends just came off after 15 minutes. I'm going to take and just kind of stir them around in that glaze. We're going to let them sit about 3 or 4 minutes before you serve. Let this glaze start to get nice and sticky as it cools off slightly. But there you have it, pork belly burnt ends.